Hey guys, it's Hollywood Studios here, and we have some breaking news out of Kentucky Kingdom, located in Louisville, Kentucky, and that is that one of their roller coasters is being removed. T3, which is often considered by many one of the worst coasters out there, has been announced to be closing for good at Kentucky Kingdom. From what we can gather, the ride will not reopen, so its final year of operation was 2022, and that is it. For those of you who don't know about T3, because I imagine some of you are from Great Adventure or other parks in this area and aren't familiar with Kentucky Kingdom, T3 is what we call a Vekoma SLC, which essentially is a Vekoma inverted coaster. They tried to do something similar to what they did with their Boomerang in terms of catching success and cloning it everywhere, and they certainly did that. These SLCs are everywhere. Some of them are pretty good. Most of them are really bad. If you've been to Maurice Piers in Wildwood, New Jersey, the Great Nor'easter is one of these models. They're all clones with some slight variations, and not all of them feel the same. T3 in particular might have been one of my least favorite. That's because T3 has very different restraints than the other ones. T3 has this weird like seatbelt over the shoulder restraint, and then the bottom part of the over the shoulder restraint is pretty tight on your legs, and I just remember it feeling like my legs were getting absolutely sawed off on this ride. If I remember correctly, I rode it in the front row. I don't know if that was a good or bad decision. This was way back in 2019, so it's been a while since I've ridden it, thankfully, and it was a really brutal ride. Most Vekoma SLCs absolutely suck in my opinion, but this one definitely stood out as probably the worst in my opinion. And I know at the time I was kind of in a minority thinking that. A lot of people thought T3 was better because it had the different restraints, but I personally couldn't stand those restraints. So I'm definitely not upset that this ride is getting removed, especially for the prospects of what it could mean for future development at Kentucky Kingdom. So I'm going to delve a little bit into that. Personally, I think this park could really use another thrill coaster. They don't have a very big coaster collection, but for a park of its size, I think the next thing to fill in a gap would be a thrill coaster, especially now that they're losing a major thrill coaster. They already have their kid coaster, their family coaster, and of course Storm Chaser and Lightning Run, which are their extreme coasters. I might be forgetting a coaster in there somewhere, I can't really remember. But I think an RMC Raptor would work really well at this park. I know they were rumored a while back to get an RMC Raptor, but I think this is probably a perfect spot for one with maybe a bit of a modified layout. Not necessarily the prototype model, but something a little different. I think something else that could be really cool is one of Vekoma's new launch coasters to replace a Vekoma with a Vekoma, except that the Vekoma they're replacing was not very good, and the Vekoma they'd be replacing it with is awesome. They have so many of these really, really cool models that are slowly starting to make their way over to the States, and I think it'd be really cool to see one at Kentucky Kingdom, as it'd be very different than anything they have. They still do not have a launch coaster, which is very surprising, so I do think it'd be cool to see them fill the gap with a launch coaster from Vekoma. But other than that, I don't really have too many other thoughts to share. Just wanted to let you all know that T3 is finally closing for good. Thank God. If you guys enjoyed this quick update video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, guys.